snuck.
That's right. I remember
Mischief managed.
At least I remembered how to do that. I don't know if I remember how to do anything else in this show, but I remembered how to sneak out the music.
We'll find out.
How's everybody doing? It is Thursday night. It is 8 o'clock, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for Hometown East Tennessee, where we talk about East Tennessee. Right, lately we're locked in on Johnson City because, well, this is where we live. We're trying to feel our way around the show. We want to come up with, get the show into its final form, and so we've been talking about local stuff. We're gonna, we'll expand eventually, but there's a lot of but firsts before we're covering Knoxville with any kind of regularity.
Yeah.
But this is episode 17. You can see down below, we came up with a clever title for episode 17. We're no longer putting episode in the title. As of just before Thanksgiving, stop putting episode so-and-so, and we're just going to put titles now.
Yep.
And we'll try to make the titles somewhat a little more relevant to the episode. So if you want to look something up, maybe you could look at the title and come up with kind of the main thing we talked about, whatever. If there's a main thing, God knows.
Sometimes there isn't.
Sometimes we just want to give it a dumb name.
Yep.
When a dumb name appears, we're going to go with it every single time. So just accept it, and we'll all be a little happier.
Happy.
It's been a week without an episode. That was our first missed episode since we started this thing. And so...
Well, we had 2 missed episodes, didn't we? Because we didn't have one Tuesday.
We didn't...
After... We didn't have one this
Our
Thursday.
very first episode, we didn't do an extra.
Yeah.
And then this last episode, we didn't do... That's right, we didn't do an extra, and we didn't do an episode.
Yeah. So,
overall, 3 episodes, which is pretty darn good, I think.
Yeah, it is pretty good. And it was for a holiday.
Absolutely.
I mean...
And I'll go ahead, spoiler alert, we're probably going to miss some stuff around Christmas time, too.
No, I plan to be here on Christmas, so...
All right. My parents live 5 minutes away. We'll
perfect.
just take it over to my family Christmas.
That's right.
And it'll be you and me talking among a bunch of kids screaming and dogs leaping everywhere.
Just over the episode, we'll be just slowly getting more frustrated, like a normal Christmas.
That's it. And there's no alcohol in that house, so
well, there will be when I sneak it in.
You have to survive it sober.
That's horrific.
Yeah, I'm a tough guy.
Yeah.
You learn to take it on the chin at a young age.
Well, I'm a girl. I can get one of those purses that has the wine spout.
Right. I'm going to go put some more oil in the car, Dad. I'm going to go out and put some oil in the car.
You're like Bender.
Yeah. He's like, you've put oil in the car like 7 times now. It's real thirsty, Dad.
Leaking. Don't know what to tell you.
But, and then we'll probably take a little break there at New Year's-ish.
Yeah.
Just to take a breather, kind of take what we've learned in these last few months and come back next year, because I got some new ideas. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it with this new equipment. I hope I can.
We'll find out.
If not, I might be returning this new equipment. Because, well, that's neither here nor there. Well, I'll get to the equipment. We'll talk about the show a little bit later. Let's talk about the important things. Bailey, your book is out.
My book is out!
We've been talking about this since we started.
Yeah.
Bailey is a professional writer. You don't get to see many of these. Look.
We usually don't come out of the shadows.
That's right. They stay in their little... They're behind keyboards in hovels locked away.
I actually washed my face for this. I wouldn't otherwise.
Right. Luckily, we live in the same hovel building, and her hovel is nearby mine, so there's no actually leaving the building and dealing with the world.
So this is very writer-like.
Exactly. That's true.
If he had been like, yeah, you have to come across town to do the show, I would have been like, yeah, do I?
I started out as a writer, too, in my youth, and I've never gotten past those same habits. So anything I can do in the pajamas, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much in my pajamas right now.
It's the great thing about the Tech Bohemia compound. You jump into the bullet train, and zoom, you're at your destination.
You just make sure you look good from here up.
Right.
And then anything else is fine.
We are wearing pants, I promise you.
We are.
Absolutely. But your book is out.
My book is out.
What, Amazon?
Yes. It's available. It's FIDE, F-I-D-E, is the book. It's fiction. It is on Kindle right now. We'll drop the link here in a second.
Absolutely. In
fact, there.
I've got it on our second screen here, if I can remember how to... Yeah. Here we go. Check it out. Look, we're picture in picture. It's right up there.
Look. Wait, no, it's right. Oh, what?
It's
over there.
It's over here.
It's over there.
That's what I said. It's right over there.
It's over there. It's available. You can read it and be the first to review this item if you like it.
Absolutely. I had a friend, someone who views the show, sent me a message today. They're not Facebook friends with you, so they'd sent you a message, but of course it goes into that spam
and you don't
folder.
see it.
Right? How would you know? And he's wanting to get a hold of your book. He just loves local authors, and I thought that was awesome. That's a good sign.
So yeah, that is a good sign. And I will say too, right now the Kindle ebook is available, which you can read with any, like you can download the Kindle app for free and get it that way. If you switch back, I will show them.
There we go.
But if you wait a few days, the paperback, look how pretty it is.
Wow, it's real, folks. Look,
It's real.
I can touch it.
If you wait a few days, this will be available on Amazon as well. So if you'd rather have a proper copy,
and remember, you all got, well, I don't know if you remember, but we had a preview of your cover.
Yeah.
Right after you got it done. We showed the preview here on the show. And it's a good-looking book. It's a comfortable book. I mean, some books, the old-fashioned tiny paperbacks are so small. This is... Oh. Listen how solid that book is.
Yeah, that's for our podcast listeners.
Oh, sorry, podcast listeners. That was the sound of a book smacking into the microphone.
A real live book.
A real live book. In case you thought we were just using theater of the mind here. No, it's a real book.
It's a real book.
And it's a good size. I mean, it is what I like to read when I read a book.
It's proper.
Absolutely.
So, get the ebook or get the real book.
Now,
read it.
The paperback is going to be available on this Amazon site.
Yeah, and I'm not sure when exactly that'll be. It'll be in the next 2 days.
Cool. Well,
sometime.
That's nothing.
Maybe 3, but
you look it up
soon.
as, I don't know if you can see it here on the screen, Fide by Bailey Buckner.
You can even just put Fide and book, and it'll find it in Amazon. And now that you've seen the cover, you know...
yeah, you'll know which of the million Fides? No Fides.
Nope, just the one. None of those are mine that he's showing you
It's
now.
It's not bona fide?
No.
Bona fide?
He's bona fide. Yeah, so go get my book. It's
awesome.
It's pretty good.
That's awesome. This is your third novel?
Yes, my third novel.
That's awesome. Because the guy that messaged me this morning, he's like, yeah, I always try to read first novels. Like, well, you're out of luck, my friend. This
not
is
my first
not
novel.
her first
this
rodeo.
Ain't my first rodeo.
Right.
Yeah, it's about just a quick thing. It's about like a Russian crime family. It's kind of violent. It's kind of like Dostoevsky meets Quentin Tarantino.
You need somebody to read the Audible audiobook version? Because I got this.
Yeah.
I do a killer Russian accent, if I do say so
that'd be
myself.
perfect.
I learned from a guy named Boris, so that means it's official.
Boris.
Yeah. I don't speak Russian, but I can talk just like Boris did.
Perfect.
Boris was one of those guys that nothing ever bothered him. He's like, yes, perhaps my clothes may be on fire, but there are much worse things.
At least we are not in Gulag.
Right.
Oh, that was probably...
At least we are no longer eating radioactive rat. It's not the radiation so much as the rat. Who do we have in the chat room? We have a few people joining us. Looks like we got about 5 people watching. Thank you for joining us here at Hometown. We sure do appreciate you. Mm-hmm. But feel free to send us a message, interrupt us. We may take a moment and finish your thought before we talk to you. But we got one eye on the chat room, and we would really love to hear from you.
Yeah.
If there's anything going on in town that's worth mentioning, this is where you do it. Just throw it out there, and we'll mention it. We had someone on the page earlier. It was Photo Booth Pal.
Yeah.
They mentioned us.
They mentioned us.
I was like, that's awesome. I've worked a lot of events, and a photo booth is where the person just sets up. They have a table of wacky props, the big glasses, and the wigs and stuff. And, people are having a good time. So you get in the photo booth, and you have a memento. Usually... You'll get one online. Sometimes you'll get them printed out right there. And so we just want to thank Photo Booth Pal for, whenever somebody that we don't know mentions the show, we're like,
who is that?
I'm telling you, I got some mail here at the compound from, I think it was Charter, and it was addressed to Hometown JC, and I was like, first business mail!
That's how you know.
And then I throw it in the trash.
Yeah,
but
obviously.
It's the thought that counts, and we appreciate it. Oh, here we go. We got Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Albert, my buddy. He's in there. Jason brews amazing beer. I'm telling you, we went to a wedding with Jason, and he made all the beer for the wedding.
He's not the mead guy.
No, he is not the meat guy. That would be Jack.
Oh, okay.
And hopefully Jack will watch one day. Jack's from Chattanooga.
Nice.
We got Andrew back. Thank you for joining us again, Andrew. Signed up for email notification when the paperback's available. Right on.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the paperback. I don't really buy paperbacks anymore. I'm more of an audiobook guy, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it the whole way.
I'm going to try to have a book signing here.
Oh, right on.
Someone may have
we just set up out here on Roan Street.
Yeah, just cars passing.
We could use this table.
Well, yeah, I don't want to stray too far from the compound.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. I need to write. I need to collect, like, somewhere I have probably 200 short stories.
Yeah.
They're
you need
all,
to collect them, yeah.
Half of them are handwritten from ages ago when I would just... I didn't have... We didn't have computers back then where I worked, and so I had to handwrite everything and then come home and type it. And being the lazy, good-for-nothing I am, I wrote out all this great stuff and never once even tried to carry it over. I need to finish those one day. One day. That's one of those things you do just before you die. And I'm afraid, let's not get started on that because it'll kill me.
That's...
I don't want to. Right. I don't want to die. Oh, Jason says no mead yet. We kept some of the wedding beers 2 years in, and they're getting even better. I still have one of your beers in my fridge.
What's a wedding beer?
Oh, we went to a wedding a couple years ago, and he did 3 or 4 different beers for that. Anyhow, he bottled some of them, I think.
Yeah, and they were made specifically for the wedding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They were fantastic. People got drunk.
You should, maybe you already do this, or maybe he already does this, but you should do that as a business.
Yeah. Actually, that's brilliant, yeah.
People, I mean, I know tons of people who would want a bespoke beer for their special day.
And I actually performed, I perform weddings. The first wedding I ever did was my friend Colleen and her husband Patrick. They had homemade beer and meads and stuff for the wedding. So, yeah. Of course, Jason has... he has another sideline where he does... what do you call it, Jason? He cuts out specific shapes in wood. I can't really do it justice. It's like fabricated wood burning and printing. It's amazing stuff. Now I want some of your beer, Jason.
That does sound good. I'm trying to save my beer for a little bit later in, because I only brought one today.
This is the last one I have in the fridge, so here it goes.
So sad.
But thanks for joining us in the chat room. It's great to see you all. Jump in anytime you want. We're glad to talk to you. Yep. Well, I've gone through and I found some of the things that are coming up in town, some things that might interest us. How you want to do it? You want to do those first? You want to talk about the show a little bit? Let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Where'd you go?
I went to South Carolina to see my mom.
Right on.
And my stepdad and his family, and it was really nice.
Pretty standard Thanksgiving? Anything?
Yeah, pretty standard. My brother and I watched a ton of movies together.
That's the
laughed
best.
Not historically. We didn't laugh historically.
Historically, you laugh, and this was in line with that.
Hysterically, we watched a lot of great shows. Have you seen Vice Principals?
No, I hadn't heard of that.
It's got Danny McBride and Walton Goggins.
Oh, okay. I'll watch it. Danny McBride. That guy.
Did that. Watched a lot of good stuff, like I've already said.
That's awesome.
Pretty standard.
Went to my family's Thanksgiving, and it was pretty much the same thing. 2 important things. Three things make it a successful Brown family Thanksgiving. Mom cooks the stuffing for a change. No, I'm sorry. 1 year she did not cook the stuffing.
Gotcha.
And I got a plate full of uncooked stuffing, which I got to
Oh, you mean she made it, but she didn't cook it.
But she forgot to put it in the oven.
I thought you meant like she just didn't make...
No. She made it and gave me uncooked stuffing.
Here.
Thanks, Mom. It was like raw carrots were on it. She tried a whole nother... It was not... Yeah. The turkey was cooked right side up. Mom tends to cook it upside down. For about 7 months, she cooks that turkey. It's so dry. It's like the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And I knew everybody at Thanksgiving because my parents are great, and they always invite people that may not have anywhere to go, and a lot of times they don't speak English. So
you're just like,
and they don't speak a language that I speak.
Yeah.
So
just hanging out.
So it was just a family. We hung out, and then the next day I went to a friend's place. She was Roller Girl, and just for some reason, she and her family have me over every year for Thanksgiving, and it's a great time. That was just awesome. I like Thanksgiving. There's something about just spending time with folks, eating and catching up, that is very chill. I wish that was the core of Christmas.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, but I wish it was more about the just hang out with your family. Don't worry about presents. Make something. I
think I still like the presents because that's when I get the majority of, like, when I need new stuff for my apartment. That's when I get the majority of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need nightstands.
My sisters and I are getting so old that we're just throwing money at each other now. Here, just take it. I'm tired.
You should all just agree at some point how much money you would have spent, and they can spend that on themselves instead of buying it.
Actually, you see, but once they started having kids, the agreement came along, and I hate this because I get screwed. Let's not spend money on each other. Just buy the kids' toys.
Yeah.
Just take anything you would spend on me and give the kids stuff. I'm like, I ain't got no kids. You ain't buying my dog anything.
That's true.
I'm getting the short end of this stick.
Yeah, that's not fair. Maybe
that's sisters.
Maybe come up with an adopted kid, like you're fostering. But
that's right. This is little Timmy.
Here,
Timmy, take your money and shut up.
Yeah. Then give it to me. You get your cut.
Right. We'll cut it all out when this is over.
Start doing a big brother, little brother thing, and
I'll just start showing up with a series of dwarves and midgets.
Yeah.
Every year.
Dressed up. It'll be fine.
Hey, DJ Ray's here.
Hey, DJ Ray.
Glad to have you join us again, DJ Ray. It's good to see you. Jason, on the beer. Doppelbock is 11% for the groom. Vanilla Java Stout was 10% alcohol for the bride. And he had an IPA is 7%.
Cider at 10.
That was if you're thirsty. And cider was 10%. I think it was the cider that wiped people out. This tastes like candy. This must be good for me.
Cider does that. I always get into this mindset where I'm in a bar and I'm like, I don't want to have anything too alcohol heavy. I'll get a cider.
And next thing you know, cider land.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's right. Ciders don't actually have less alcohol in them. Right. They just taste better.
They taste prettier. CNC milling is Jason's woodworking thing. That's right, milling. That's the term I was looking for. Bespoke beer would be an amazing business, but I would have to get all the brewery paperwork.
Well,
that's right. These beers were a wedding present. It might be worth it.
It's
like, Shannon, didn't you get married last week? I'm going for it again, man.
Keep doing it. Well, have you been to the new brew place?
Oh,
not a brewery. It's not a brewery.
Brews and no. Downtown?
Yeah.
You see, this is terrible. I have not been there. I've been by there a lot.
Let's say. I
have to load up a new browser in order to do
it. Sorry. Especially to our podcast people who are just bored. Listening to us look at stuff.
Yeah, well.
The problem is it's not a brewery.
It's not. But then again, remember, John City Brewing is a tap room.
Well, this is a tap room too.
This is a tap, and they have all of these bottled beers in the coolers, and they have
which I've and they're reasonably priced. Mm-hmm. I got a good Einstock there that I couldn't have gotten anywhere else for like $4.
I was talking to someone about it today. I felt terrible that I didn't have it loaded up. But I've been by there. I've not been in. They have beautiful Barley Waters. Thank you, Biller. Biller saves the day again.
Yeah, thanks, Biller.
I've been by there. I've looked in, and it looks real nice.
It does look nice.
Lately,
it is nice.
I've been kind of a shut in a little bit lately. When I am downtown, I'm there specifically to meet friends somewhere, and most of them don't know about Barley Waters yet, and so I haven't been there.
I mean, I've only bought beer from there. I haven't drunk there. Yeah. It was really nice. I went there on a Saturday night at some point to pick up. Just to look at their selection and pick up a few beers, and really nice vibe. Just
that's
very.
Cool. I like how open and airy it is.
Yeah.
Lots of whites and light colors, and it's a nice change from a lot of the more restaurant oriented colors you get in places. I mean, nothing against these places. It's just the darkness makes you feel a little more enclosed than this place does.
Very big windows.
High ceilings too, right?
High ceilings, and the people there seem to be like, kind of just young professionals, like maybe some college students, but not college students in like college students kind of way.
They're not there looking for Jaeger bombs.
Yeah, like college students, like proper.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
It was really nice. I like them.
Yeah, I need to do that. I don't think I'm in town this weekend, but as soon as I am,
as soon as you are,
I'll go down there and try it. If anybody watching, if you want to join us down there, I've got some new toys that we can kind of go on the road a little bit, but we'll talk about that later. It won't be live. I'm not trying to be live.
We won't be live,
but it's an option.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Cool. And coming up, we have. I swear, Christmas started the day after Halloween this year.
Oh yeah. There was no Thanksgiving really.
I was really disappointed. It was like, Thanksgiving. Let's get straight to the selling, and Black Friday Black Friday. I swear is a bigger holiday than Thanksgiving.
It's true. Well, they had to make it. They had to monetize it somehow.
Right, but these companies are making their whole year's income at this one time a year. Mm-hmm. So, excuse me, I'm not going to go off. I'm not going to go off today.
Not today.
The closer we get to Christmas, the harder it's going to be for me to not go off.
Oh no, we're going to have problems.
But that being said, I spent some money on Black Friday. I bought a new hard drive for the computer that we're recording this on. Mm-hmm. So now we were getting tight. I wasn't out of space, but it was getting tight. So I bought another drive, put it in there, moved all of my storage, all of the old episodes, everything goes onto that drive, just as simple storage. So now plenty of room to record. I can edit. I can bring in video, and I can edit now without worry about running out of drive space.
Nice.
And so I feel real good. Also, I bought this cheap-ass camera. Now, I'm a video professional, I like to think. For 25 years, I worked with audio video every day. Edited. My training was in shooting and producing videos. I did that for a while professionally. And I've bought really high-dollar, top-quality cameras and know what I'm looking for. And I bought this anyhow. Mm-hmm. And it's a Wellacura.
Wellacura.
Whatever that is. I've never heard of it.
It sounds sort of like a New Zealand company.
It does. It's a Wellacura you got there. And it was very well... it's got some guy's Outlook email is what comes up on the...
Wait, what?
On the screen. Hang on, let me shut it down again and we'll show everybody. Underneath the Wellacura, it's one guy's email address at Outlook.com comes up.
That's amazing.
Here we go. Wellacura, Outlook.com.
That is so funny. I just like the idea that there's just some guy.
Right. Who's all I do is make cameras. That's my thing. And, so I started playing with it, and can you see the viewfinder? It's got lines and a little bit of snow to it.
Yeah.
That's because it's digitally boosting the low light situation, and so it always looks like that. And I have not found... There are like 3 switches here, and one of them is just a switch to say you switch the switch on. There are no controls, very few options. It's very bare bones. I have not figured out how to manually change any of this. You've seen before we go on, I'm manually adjusting all these cameras and getting the colors right, or
I'm just sitting here
close as we can, and this working on it. Anyhow, got a new idea that it's going to take a little bit to get in production. So we're going to be sitting here talking for a while yet, and we're going to keep talking after that. Yeah. But we're going to start maybe running a little more pre-recorded footage during the episode, because getting people at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night at a place that has reliable internet has turned out to be a big challenge. And I can get the people. I've talked to the people that want to be on the show, but I can't provide, either I can't get reliable internet, I'll go down and test on my phone, and the internet's no good,
Yeah.
or they're not available at Thursday night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so the only way around that because the original idea was to talk to these people, to let people meet the personalities that make the culture of downtown Johnson City. So, going to go around and shoot. We'll see what happens with the first one. The first one's just going to be a play around.
Yeah.
We'll just maybe go out to a bar and shoot some footage. We'll see what happens. But we'll see how it looks. I may have to return that and get a better camera. But
May I ask where you got it from?
I got it from Amazon.
Oh, nice.
And it was actually very well reviewed. It had a very high rating. It was an Amazon's best choice.
Yeah.
It was for the consumer grade that it is, it's really good. And if I was just shooting my family, if I was shooting my dog, and in daylight, this looks really good. I shot some decent stuff early one morning.
Excuse me.
But I'm afraid I'm being nitpicky because I am a professional and I work with professional stuff, but we don't have professional budget here.
Not yet.
Not yet. But this will allow us to still keep to the mission. And so I think I can set it up so that we can do...
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We can do the live intro to the videos, and then we'll integrate the live video right into the show.
Yeah.
So we can stay, 80% live, and then go to a pre-edited, recorded and edited video. So it'll look a little bit better for the episode, and then we'll come back for the extra, and that'll be our chance to just sit around and maybe talk about what we just heard
or
whatever.
Yeah.
That's the thought. What do you all think? I mean, if you have an opinion in the chat room, I'd really love to hear what you think about that. It's a little change in the way we produce things, but I think it's actually going to be better overall for our mission, quote, quote, of bringing you more about the local area.
Because it is hard when it's just two people.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to come up with we could talk all day about growing up here, but
it's not gonna give us that perspective as to who is who and what's what in town, because we're kind of tethered here until we can.
Yeah.
And I have a solution on my phone that'll allow us to do a live show, and we will. In fact, I apologize if you. I said before Thanksgiving that I would do some live testing, and I just ate too much.
It would have just been like.
I'm so full. That's pretty much what it would have been. So I am going to do that. Just it'll be coming up probably this weekend or something. Whenever we get time. I'd like to have Bailey there with me. Nobody wants to just see me, but we can have a conversation. A little more interesting than just me talking. I talk all the time. So those are the ideas.
Yes.
DJ Ray has a Zoom camera that he really likes. Oh, that's awesome! If you get a chance sometime, DJ Ray, send me a link on that. I'd very much like to see it. What I may do is just hold on to this camera for general purposes. It was so cheap. I mean, it was like $70 for this little camera.
Holy.
Yeah, and it comes with a remote control, and
that's really nice.
if I can get it figured out, this little camera can be patched in and used as a webcam. And it's a 24 megapixel camera.
Pretty good.
So to put that in perspective, an iPhone 6 camera is a 12.
Can I see it?
Yeah.
I just want to do an experiment real quick.
Yeah, go right ahead.
How do you pop?
That's it.
There we go. Do I just open it and it comes on?
And it'll come on. It'll show the guy's email address.
That is so funny.
And to flip that towards you, go backwards.
Gotcha. I was trying to see if the color would correct a little bit with the bright light.
Yeah, you see, that's that auto set. It's got all these autos locked on, so it's not showing what's true. If I can figure out how to turn off the auto, and I can do it manually, I know what I'm doing, and I can make it look good. Because it has the technology.
Yeah.
I looked at the specs. All of the technology is in here that I need. There's just no way to access it with the super simple little menu they put on.
Do you know someone who could hack it?
Yes. He's very close right now.
Very close.
If you're listening to the podcast, I pointed at myself.
And I pointed at him as well.
It was really funny. You should have seen it.
I just wanted to be clear.
I mean, technically, mine was funnier. But, I'll let you get back to your podcast. Thanks. Sorry.
You're getting so close to the ASMR.
I just like to think that I'm screwing with some poor person with their earbuds in. They can't get the earbuds out fast enough. He's like, that guy. I hate that guy. He's only in one ear, so there's like somebody walking around with only one earbud in, listening to your side of the conversation.
They're like, I don't even know. I don't care what she's saying, but she's got a funny accent.
At least she's not him. That guy. So that's the idea. I don't know. We're always tweaking with it.
Yeah.
Like I want to talk to the folks that run the Munchie Machine.
Yeah.
But they're kind of untethered now. They're traveling again, so there's no way to do a live conversation. But shoot a nice recorded interview, and maybe talk to some other people with other food trucks, and we can do all that at once.
It'd be very cool.
Yeah, and then baby steps, and then maybe Patreons will want to follow us a little bit more and give us some more money, so I can get the next level camera.
Yeah.
By the way, have I mentioned Patreon? I don't
No,
think
you haven't. Well, you do that real quick, and I'll be right back.
Go right ahead. Billy and my dog are a little incompatible. If you'd like to support Hometown East Tennessee, it's real easy to do. You can go to Patreon/hometown, patreon.com/hometown, and pledge any amount of money you want per episode. So each episode that we release, that amount will be deducted from your account at the end of the month. I'm sorry, that amount will be set aside. At the end of the month, they will run your credit card for all of the episodes for the month. We won't do more than 2 episodes a week. Sometimes, if we ever do a 3rd episode a week, you're going to want that one. It's going to be really good and probably be Patreon only. We can do that. We can put a lot of stuff that's only behind the Patreon wall. Right now, I'm sorry, we need some more people to really take the time to put all the work into it. I'm trying to keep all the links up. I try to put stuff on there first before anybody else gets to see it. Usually there's a delay when we put out a video that the next day, maybe by lunchtime the next day, I get the video out. But for Patreons, I put it out immediately. It's raw. It's usually got like 15 minutes of nothing at the beginning and end.
But it's there.
It's there if you want it because they've paid for it. They deserve the extra. We put all the podcast episodes on there. We share that on Facebook too. So the podcast is for the world. Everybody gets the podcast. Please listen to the podcast. If you're listening to us right now, thank you so much.
This has been Bailey and Shannon for NPR Radio.
We need to do an entire NPR episode. And that was Downtown Johnson City, which will be full of beer this afternoon. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You know what? We might be helping someone discover that they like ASMR.
That's true. That's true. If you have liked this podcast and it makes the back of your neck tingle and gives you pleasurable sensations in your brain, then look up ASMR because
on YouTube.
I'm not telling you what it is. I'm not responsible.
I actually did look up several ASMR videos because I was like, I don't think I know exactly what it is. And I listened to several, and I was like, I was sort of waiting, and then nothing happened.
Some people are just wired that causes tingles in the brain and the back of the neck, as I understand it.
Now, I get that with in songs with crescendos.
Oh, yeah,
like
sure.
really, really big crescendos.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty normal.
That's that. Oh, it's touched me.
Right.
Chill
You
bumps.
just feel your spine. Somehow.
Yeah. The ASMR. That's a fetish. Let's be honest. That's a fetish. And if you're listening to this show just for that, well, you tell us in the comments, and we'll do more of it.
Become a Patreon,
and
we'll do ASMR videos.
You know, if you become a Patreon and you want just ASMR videos, it'll be me talking to my dog. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Then that's what I'll do.
Yeah, I was looking up some, and it was so funny the things people would talk about, because they're just talking. Yeah. Like, it's not a special
I've known one person who was into them, and he told me that his favorite was a beautician.
Yeah.
And she sets up a 360-degree sound, and she stands behind the microphone with the scissors, and just talks about whatever she wants. Just in a very soft voice. And you get this... And that's what did it for him. It was the sound of the scissors with the voice.
Well, I had a conversation with my brother over Thanksgiving about, I wonder if, you know Misophonia? Misophonia is?
What is that?
Misophonia is an unreasonable dislike of certain sounds.
Oh.
I have it. That's not even a best
Is that like nails down a chalkboard go straight to people's spines? Would that be it, or is it something more?
It's more
voluntary.
It's more things like, for me, hearing people chew, for whatever reason, fills me with rage.
Gotcha.
That's misophonia. And I was wondering...
Jason says in the chat room, ASMR dog talking made it creepier. Sorry, go ahead.
I was fine. I was wondering, maybe librarians, like the stereotypical older, mean librarian, get so angry at people being loud because maybe they have misophonia. And maybe they also have they like the sound of flipping pages.
Right. And so they naturally gravitate towards the library because it satisfies these needs.
Right, exactly.
You know, I know that's happened. That had to have happened at some point. I mean, I went to television because I was a kid that watched TV 24 hours a day if I could, and so I wanted to make that TV. And then I learned that that's a really terrible job to go into. Don't do it.
Oh, it's generally true of writing too. Just
Probably, that's true.
Probably best not to do it.
That was my second after writing. I had my first story stolen from me and published under someone else's name at 18.
That sucks.
And I was kind of over it all because I'd been promised the world and then I got screwed. That's a whole nother episode. Moving on.
Well, tomorrow, are we talking about events?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to some events we got.
Tomorrow is the tree lighting downtown for First Friday.
Saturday is the parade. I got it here.
I think it is. Yeah.
That's right. Is this the? Are there any more First Fridays? Do you know?
There will be one in January.
So they're still doing the First Friday programming all through the winter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know.
That sounds right. I didn't.
There's just usually not as many.
Yeah, once it's cold, nobody comes out to First Friday.
But I think they still technically do it.
We used to go out with the Derby team. We would go to every First Friday. Anything to have a table to recruit. They always wanted more and more skaters. And it got cold. And nobody was there. And we're like, screw this. We're not recruiting anybody. We don't know. But First Fridays are always fun downtown. They work really hard. The Downtown Merchants Association, they throw a little bit of money at them these days. And... They're doing some good stuff. I know, I hosted that dog show. Yeah, it's one of the best things I did downtown because right after that I did a wedding.
That's right. Right after
we just got thrown together that day. That's a whole other story from a few episodes ago. And this one it's kind of a Dr. Seuss theme, I believe. I think
isn't it always? There's always a Grinch, I think.
Yeah. And so they're kind of doing Whoville, and they've got little signs with great Who puns. That I've seen, and so check out your First Friday, and then once all that's over, you check out all the local bars and restaurants, and
go to Barley Waters.
Tell them we sent you, and they'll go, who?
Yeah, they'll be like, okay. You don't get anything for it. You won't get a discount or anything.
But tell them that'd be cool. It'd be great for us. Saturday morning, 11:30 a.m. the Johnson City Christmas Parade. I've been going to that parade since I can remember. I was a little tiny kid at the Johnson City Christmas Parade every year. I always loved the fire trucks.
Yeah. See, I personally, I have a thing about the Johnson City Christmas Parade. It's always awful.
What kind of thing?
It's always just awful. There's no. It
just doesn't have the festive magic that a parade's supposed to have.
Right. First of all,
I see where you're coming from.
I'm a strong believer that all parades should be at night.
Yeah.
Especially Christmas.
Yeah.
Because then you can have your cocoa. It's nice and cold. The lights are really, really pretty.
You're right, because the last time it was 2000, I want to say 8 or 9, maybe. It could have been as late as 2010. They had it at night.
Yeah.
And I was in the parade with the roller girls. We had a bunch of members at the time, so we were out in force. They were supposed to get me a bullhorn, but nobody got me a bullhorn. So I'm walking downtown Johnson City. I didn't need a bullhorn. I was just using my natural abilities and was just blasting away. And it was a great parade.
Yeah.
they had floats that year. They'd really done it up. I remember my buddy Sam. He's gone now, but Sam was one of the organizers, and he had put so much work into the graphics and the advertisements for it that it attracted a huge crowd. That was great.
I will say this about John City Parade too: is now the last 5 years or so when I've gone to it, it's just been so. There aren't really many floats.
Yeah.
Usually it's people in trucks.
Church groups.
With church groups, businesses who just have a sign, might be wearing a Santa Claus hat.
Right. Yeah. Nobody wants to take time to really do it upright. Maybe they will again. It's cyclic. I mean, there have been many years like that. When I was a kid, I remember it being in the morning when I was really young. And we would go up where you go past Nelson's and past WGHL to the overpass, and there's a parking lot under the overpass between Main and Market, and that's where we would always watch the parade. I remembered it was probably 70s, late 70s, early 80s. Some of my earliest memories were at that parade downtown. And we would walk down to where Nelson's is now, was a flower shop, and where Nelson's was. Now it's Edisonian's. They're going to have a brewery in there.
Yeah.
But if you look up on the right side of Nelson's Fine Art, there's a big circle, and that was this elaborate Christmas tree. It was gold Christmas tree that went up. The top of it went up into the ceiling, so you had to go get it right up to it in order to see this beautiful angel that was on top of it. It was a gold angel.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the name of the place was.
Yeah.
I just remember that it was magic. It was just one of those straight out of a Hollywood film kind of thing.
Very cool.
And it was packed downtown back then.
Yeah. And it is sort of now.
Yeah, it is now.
Getting there.
You know your city's doing okay. When I go downtown, I go, nope.
Yeah.
And turn around and go home.
Well, I know. I was down there, I think I may have told you this already, but I was down there on Sunday a few weeks ago, and I was like, why are there so many people downtown?
Right.
And when it was Sunday at like 9 o'clock at night, which before...
Sundays would be deserted.
Deserted, yeah. You might have some locals who are getting a drink, maybe.
Yeah.
But just people milling about.
I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Until we get gentrified right out of here, more power to you downtown.
Right.
Knock it out. I may be antisocial, but I'm glad everybody else is having a good time because I don't have to park. I just have to walk there.
That's right, yeah. We can just... mosey on down there.
I drove down one day. I was coming in from somewhere else, and I thought, well, rather than going home and walking down, I'll just drive downtown and park. I was like, screw this, never again.
No, it's
I'll park
awful.
at home and walk.
Yeah.
It wasn't even late, and already downtown was packed.
No, I've had to start parking across from downtown, like in that big parking lot where they used to have the farmers market. Yeah. That's where I generally park
That's
now.
where I've ended up a lot. I'd tell you where I park, but then everybody will start parking there.
Oh, that's true.
I park a little further down, but it's real convenient. Come find me.
Find a car.
But that was the John City Christmas Parade. Look, there's your Facebook event. Look up on Facebook, John City Christmas Parade. What else did I load up?
Well,
this is my kind of thing, and this is why I loaded this up. Visions of Christmas 1862 at Tipton Haynes, where they go back in time and they're going to give you the experience of what Christmas was like in 1862. And that, I think, is closer to what I'm interested in.
I would love to go to that.
Right, because none of the commercialization had a chance to really set up except in maybe some big cities. And I just think that's really cool. And I dig that. I just think it's...
I used to go to summer camp at Tipton Haynes.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
I'd only been there a few times. It was still fairly new when I was young.
Yeah.
And it hadn't caught on. I've been there a few times now. It's great.
Admission is $5 for adults and $2.50 for children, 12 and under.
Treats will be cooked on the open hearth of their cabin.
Treats.
There's food.
Reservations for tours is appreciated.
I mean, $5 for adults? Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Let's just go down there one day.
I know. I wonder how long they're having this.
It's only Saturday. It's December 2nd, 2 to 6.
I'm going Saturday.
I am too. Darn it.
So sad.
Oh, well. You all can go.
Yeah.
Check it out. Let us know what it was like. Send us some photos. This is important.
This is important.
I think I'm going to be in Asheville on Saturday. A friend of mine's having a burlesque show.
Mm-hmm.
The Rick Mobil's in Asheville.
Yep.
If you're a fan of Rick and Morty, this
Mobile.
is the Rick Mobile. You can get rickety wrecked. You can just go around and scream, Pickle Rick! Because everybody else is going to be screaming the exact same thing.
Yep.
But they sell Rick and Morty merchandise you can't find anywhere else, and they give away stuff every now and again. So they have giveaways. But that's the Rick Mobile is going to be in Asheville Saturday. It's at 468 Riverside Drive in Asheville. I'm not sure.
The Salvage Station.
Oh, Salvage Station. That's a fantastic place. If you haven't been to Salvage Station, go check it out. I'm sure that when there's a big band or festival there, it is button up packed. But if you can go down there on a beautiful day when it's light and sunny, it is great to hang out at.
I have never heard the phrase "butt to nut."
That's what I've been using forever. It's just so descriptive of some shows I've been to.
Very descriptive. Well, before you get to that, this isn't an official holiday, but Monday is my birthday.
Yay!
So I wanted to get it in at the accurate point.
That's right.
So just celebrate on Monday.
That's awesome.
Do something fun.
Happy pre-birthday.
Yeah.
I'll see you when the hangover ends, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that?
Yeah, that's right.
We'll see you then. I'll have some juice and some donuts ready for
I'll
you.
I'll come home and there'll be like a little care package.
Right. Juice, donuts,
Pedialyte,
couple of aspirin, Pedialyte.
But speaking of birthdays,
it's right. I hope you've been to Open Doors Coffee House. Downtown coffee houses tend to get a lot more notice. Acoustic Coffee House, which didn't serve coffee for a long, long time.
And even now, if you go in and order coffee,
it's not great.
Well, I've had some pretty good coffee there. But,
okay, then it's changed.
But it is a gamble.
Yeah.
It's a gamble.
Then there's Willow Tree, which makes excellent coffee. Their teas at Willow Tree.
So good.
Do not miss their teas. They're handmade. I met the lady that makes them last Saturday. I was at their, they had a little local artisan shop.
It was a small business Saturday.
Oh, it was that, yeah. But I met the lady that made their teas, and I kicked myself because I got distracted and I wandered away without buying. I wanted to buy a bag of that Willow Tree special, that one tea that I love. I didn't.
Well, and the teas too are caffeine free.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
They're just delicious.
They're wonderful.
I had to cut back on caffeine, so that's a good thing for a change.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got distracted. And then Dos Gatos is very, very fine. I feel
love Dos Gatos.
It's good, but I'm lactose intolerant, and I just. Give me a cup of coffee. Yeah. I feel like I'm not dressed up enough sometimes when I go to Dos Gatos.
It's got a very modern, clean.
It's very, very hip, very, very pro, and I appreciate that. I really do. Well, but it's not where I want to slouch and work on my work.
Yeah.
Just up and this is like 2 blocks away from the Technobohemia compound. Mm-hmm. Open Doors Coffee House, coming up on December 5th, that's Tuesday. Mm-hmm. They're going to be having their 1-year birthday party. They're giving away $1 drinks.
Yay!
So in addition to the $1 regular size drinks all day, there will be door prizes, a raffle, and entertainment.
Ooh.
But go down there and support them. And they have really good coffee. I don't know if it's anything fancy, but their coffee is delicious. I'm not a coffee snob. I'm the opposite. I'm a kind of like coffee kind of guy. And so I'm real picky. If something brings me back, it has to be a good cup of coffee. Yeah. Otherwise, I can pass. I'll have something else. Looking at December 7th. This is 3 days after your birthday.
Yes.
We're going to use that. We'll use that as reference from here on.
It's before Bailey's birthday. Right. BBB. And ABB.
Right. And this is going to be ABB. On the 7th, and this is an important thing. I don't know if you guys are keeping up. I know a lot of you in this room. I know you are. There's a Save Net Neutrality rally coming up in Johnson City. That's at 2122 North Roan. That's kind of north Johnson City a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder where that is.
It has to be somewhere around the mall. They're going to be rallying in front of the Verizon store, which is up the hill. on Roan Street in Johnson City to save the free and open internet against the FCC's planned rules change, which will destroy net neutrality. And you're like, net neutrality, who cares? Let the politicians take care of it. Well, my friends, you are currently looking at the best argument for supporting net neutrality, because if net neutrality goes away and these cable companies get their druthers, what they're going to give you is a divided up menu, just like your cable TV. If you want to watch YouTube videos, you're going to have to pay for YouTube. If you want just email, they'll probably give you that, as long as you use their email, because they can prevent Yahoo from working on their network. They can lock out Netflix on their network, and so Netflix will be on, I promise you, it'll be a premium tier. You'll have to pay a lot extra. In addition to the Netflix subscription, you'll have to pay extra for your cable company to unlock the data to Netflix. Otherwise, you can use their service, which is not going to be as good. It's not going to have the amount of choice, because they can give you what they want to give you and deny you the ability to access anything else.
And I mean, as someone who works online exclusively, this is, frankly, to me, terrifying.
Right.
Like, my business would potentially tank.
Yeah. And if you watch porn on the internet, so sorry, that's going to be a separate tier that you're going to have to pay for, and your significant other will be able to see the charges. It's no longer a free service you can sneak anymore. So net neutrality is important. I don't know if standing on a street corner and holding up signs is going to make a difference, but I can tell you that if you search around, you will find plenty of links that you can send messages to your congressperson and tell them that we have to retain net neutrality. Sadly, I think it's a done deal. According to the news, the FCC have a 5-member board. 3 of them are locked-in party line members who will do whatever I
have hope, because it was pretty much a done deal last year, too.
Right,
and it didn't happen.
And I hope it stays that way, but I think people will be more surprised if it does not get overturned than if it's upheld. And that scares the living daylights out of me, because all of this worldwide communication that we have is going to go away. It's going to be limited to the people that have the money to pay the extra to do it. So that's my little soapbox moment for today. What else we got here? Hope there's nothing scandalous on my Facebook page when I put this.
Yeah,
I don't think there is. It's not up right now, but I'm just saying. I also thought about this. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, you never know when someone's going to message you.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And it pops up.
That could be very bad, believe me.
Someone messaged
Some of the messages I get are bad, especially ones from DJ Ray. Do not message me, DJ Ray. They're doing a holiday bazaar, Bizarre, in Kingsport. This is one that's been going around. It's Frag presents it. Local stuff. My friend Ren's going to be painting faces there. My friend Orion, I think, has a table there with her owls. They're having a big ugly sweater contest for a $50 Chop House card. Mm-hmm. Buy local is the point of this. That's the only reason I include it. Give it a choice between going to Best Buy and buying another thumb drive that your family's not going to use. Get something. It doesn't have to be art. It doesn't have to be, trinkets. You can buy some services or something, but try to keep it local. Mm-hmm. It's worth it. Because with the world going mad and net neutrality locking us into a smaller world, if it goes through, and with all of the mean stuff going around, we're not going to change Washington, D.C., or at least I personally am not going to change Washington, D.C., but I can make a few people in my local area feel better. And maybe that's enough to start the ball rolling. That'll start that little avalanche of people being positive.
Mm-hmm.
Sad. When I first moved in here, I forget what the girl's name who lived upstairs. I forgot her name. Doesn't matter. She moved out, and the first day that the guy moved in that replaced her, I got to talk to him. He's a cool guy. Mm-hmm. And over time, we got to know each other. Good guy. And he says, "Hey, man, I got a band. It's called This Mountain. You need to check it out."
At the time, it would have been called something else.
Oh, that's true. It was.
I wish I could remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was at the time. You're absolutely right, though. And I did my first Blue Plum Festival. I hosted a stage, and I got to introduce his band. And I was like, this band is fantastic. And they turned into one of the best local bands that I know of. And in fact, you can tell when a band is successful when they're from Johnson City because they tell people they're from somewhere else.
Where do they say they're from?
They're now they still say they're from Johnson City, but I saw a few where they were like, we're from the Knoxville area when they travel around.
I see a lot of people say Charlotte.
Yeah,
from
because
Charlotte.
If you're from Johnson City, people are going to go,
where?
Oh. But it happens.
Yeah.
I know some people that on their Instagram, Nashville. They're not from Nashville. They're from Roan Street. It's not me. But this mountain, they're disbanding. They've only got this may be their last show.
I think that's their last show.
I think they're taking it to the house after this. They're going to be at the Down Home, just the
best place for them to.
There's no better place in town. Down Home has such a tradition of music going back to 77, 74. It's the right place. If you want a place that is Johnson City, the Down Home.
You can't get more Johnson City.
That's it. And the Down Home has been on the tour docket of so many big bands that started small and grew. And that's appropriate. Yeah. So that'll be Saturday, December 16th, 8 o'clock at the Down Home on 300 Main Street.
We'll remind you next week.
Yeah. But if you get a chance to go down there, check it out. And not only is it a great band, all of them are great guys. I had the best times hanging out with the whole band when I did the Blue Plum Festival. So that's This Mountain. Look them up.
I think we only have 4 minutes left.
Uh-oh. Well, that's most of it. Everything else is moving off into time on down.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the biggies.
Biggies.
That was a fast hour, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, it is weird. We haven't done this in a while, so it does feel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does go by fast.
I think I'm glad we took a week off. I think I needed a break at that moment. Yeah. And I'm feeling good, and we're doing it again. We changed the lights. We made it a little darker. I kind of like this. I like the. Too. I'm gonna tinker with it and try to come up with a little more evenness. Mm-hmm. But I think this works all right.
Yeah.
It gets rid of a lot of issues I think we had with a lot of the other lighting scenarios. There we go. Yeah. Help us out. Support the show. I'm not begging for money. I am asking for your support, for you to stand behind us and say, hey, we like what you do, because all you have to do is say, hey, we like what you do. Send us, comment on our videos, leave messages on our Facebook page, talk to us. We want to hear from you. It's that feedback that keeps us going, that reminds us why we do this and makes us want to make it better. So I'm not asking for money. I'm asking literally for your support. But if you'd like to throw some money at us, you can do that at paypal.me/hometownjc. That'll come straight to the accounts where everything else goes. And also, of course, our Patreon, which I really would love to see our Patreon get going so that we could do some fun stuff. Now that we have a camera, early on Bailey and I had some idea for some little vignette promos to do. And that's a possibility. We can definitely do that, especially with we got a nice little light source now. Yes. We can come up with some options. But patreon.com/hometown and pledge money per episode. We will not abuse it. $1 is fine. That's still, $8 a month. That's two episodes a week for 4 weeks. There you go.
Easy math.
Actually, that's wrong. At least $16. Nobody said there was going to be a test.
We're artists.
Right, exactly.
Don't mess.
And I'm working on some personal projects coming up. I don't really have any announcing until January. I'm hosting Chattacon in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'll be doing their costume contest and hosting a bunch of sci-fi geek panels. So if you're into steampunk, I'm doing a retrofuturism panel talking about the history and aesthetic of taking old-fashioned ideas and making them modern. And I don't care for steampunk as a genre. I do love it. Mm-hmm. I love the stories, but I love steampunk as an aesthetic that you drape over a good story in a genre. So it can be anything. And so I went with retrofuturism because it's a lot. It's the base that all this other stuff is built on. So that's the only thing I really got coming up. I'm sitting around the apartment. I'm eating Cheetos, and I'm watching a lot of TV lately.
Fun times.
It's great. Oh my God, it's great not to travel.
So nice.
You got anything else coming up besides your big book?
No.
It's out.
Just a reminder, though.
Right on.
Get
That's
my
Fide.
book. Fide.
Fide.
Fido.
Fido. Here, Fido.
Stop confusing them.
I'm sorry.
I want their money. Fide.
And we're going to put that link on the Hometown East Tennessee Facebook page. And I'm sure we're going to be sharing that link until you're sick of it. We'll even put it in the YouTube notes so you can check it out. And you can always follow Bailey at BaileyReads.com.
Bailey Writes.
Bailey Writes, that's right. Bailey's a writer, not a reader.
I am a reader also.
I'm not a strong reader, but I can write well.
Yep.
So follow Bailey, follow me. Follow HometownJC.com. That'll always take you back to our YouTube page. Any final thoughts in the live chat room? Well, it's too late.
Mr. Chance.
Go ahead, write to us. We'll chat right back with you, even after the show ends. As always, we're going to take about a 10-minute break here and come back about just before 9:15. That's the best I can do. Let's not be too accurate. And in the meantime, make sure that once we end this, go ahead and close out your browser. You'll have to reopen hometownjc.com. When you see that it says extra in the title, you're ready to go. So click on it, and the extra will be loaded up, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes at 9. Let's call it 9:15. We'll take a luxurious long break. And we'll see you. Thanks for joining us on Hometown. It's always a lot of fun. And thanks everybody in the chat room. Thank you, DJ Ray. We love you too. And thank you, Jason. Thank you. I think it was Andrew was also in there. Biller, thank you. He's Rob, but he'll always be a Biller to me. Till next week.
Bye.
We'll see you.